Good afternoon. I have a question for y'all. Does anybody know what the Anwr is?
No.
The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Okay. How much oil do you think comes from the Anwr?
A lot.
None.
No, none.
Because we have in place right now, there's a ban on drilling in the Anwr. According to Wikipedia, the Anwr is in the northeast part of Alaska, 19.2 million acres. Okay, it's about the same size as South Carolina. In this country, anybody want to take a guess at how much oil we use a day?
A lot.
2 million barrels.
8 million barrels a day, and that's according to weforum.org. 8 million. We're talking about we import a quarter of our oil, and we have the strategic petroleum reserves, which is right across the river at Chenier. But we don't use our reserves, because if the world goes to hell in a handbasket, we have our reserves to fall back on. The estimates put the amount of oil in the Anwr at 10 billion barrels. That's roughly 1,250 days for this country, just in oil that they think is up there. Now, the proposed drilling area, you see how big the Anwr is, and this is the coastal plains. The only proposed drilling area is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little red dot right there in the top. It's 2,000 acres. It's all they propose to drill in where the oil's at, is 2,000 acres of the Anwr out of 19.2 million. Now, of course, we hear everything, and this with the 2,000 acres, got that information from Snopes.com, which is a website that what they do is they go through and they verify other information. This right here, and you've seen pictures of Alaska, been to Alaska. This is what the media will tell you that the Anwr looks like. You know, Alaska's pretty, you have the animals. That's what the Anwr looks like. It's a godforsaken wasteland up there. There's nothing there. And you also seen on the media how the drilling rigs look, how it all is terrible, and the environment. That's drilling in Prudhoe Bay, which is about 1,500 miles west of the Anwr. I don't think that the caribou are stressed any. Bears walking the Alaska pipeline, that's in Prudhoe Bay. More caribou. Everything you've seen is a bias. Okay, benefits of drilling in the Anwr. We become less dependent on foreign oil. Or we say we import a fourth of the oil that we use, so we import 2 million barrels a day. It'll give the United States time to develop other energy sources. Now, we all know that oil makes the world run. Not just fuel, but anything. The only thing that you can pretty well have that doesn't have petroleum products is if you go out in the yard and cut a tree down and use it right there. All your plastics, all your papers, your paper pulp, everything, chemicals, and John, I'm leaving out a lot of things, but I don't have time to cover everything. Everything that you use uses petroleum products. We need to develop other energy resources, but we have to have the time to be able to develop them. Wind, solar, it's just not there. You can't get enough energy. Also create U.S. jobs. Each rig that drills, you're looking at 22 men that are on a drilling rig. That's just a drilling rig. We're not talking about service companies. Everything from the people that pour cement to deliver the porta potties are employed, because whenever something happens, whenever they start drilling. In conclusion, the U.S. should drill in the Anwr due to the amount of oil that we consume, which is 8 million barrels a day. We can get 1,250 days approximately if the numbers that they have are right, and it could be a lot more oil. The amount of oil reserves in the Anwr, 19 billion barrels. And the creation of U.S. jobs. We all know that it's hard to find work right now. It really is. If you want any kind of job to support a family, they're just not out there around every corner. The lack of environmental impact. We saw from the pictures that the environmental impact is not what you would think. Now, those of you that don't know me, I'm Scott Whitehead, and I am owner and vice president of Ford Safety. I worked all over the world. Been in the oil field for over 20 years, and I've seen drilling rigs on several continents. And I can tell you that increasing the amount of drilling that we have, whether it's offshore or in the Anwr, is going to help this country in several different ways. Does anybody have any questions? No questions? Thank y'all.